All right, hello everyone. So we are going to go ahead and get started here. Hopefully everyone can see me and hear me well. My name is Cathy and I'm representing Namaste. Happy to be doing a nice fun live stream from my basement. Hopefully we won't hear any of the noises coming from upstairs with my two young kids, but we may see a cat wander in and out at some point during this practice. So we're going to do an hour-ish flow tonight, all levels, and we're going to be focusing on our heart openers. If you have a strap or even like a bath towel or really a long sleeve shirt or sweatshirt would work too, just something to give you some extra length. We're going to be using that later in practice. And then if you have a block at home or if you don't have a block, just get a nice solid book. That'll work as well. So we're just going to start ourselves in a comfortable seat. So that might mean for you sitting on your heels like I am, or maybe just an easy cross-legged Sukhasana pose. Either one is fine. We're just going to start by closing our eyes and taking a few easy breaths here. So settle down into your seat. Close your eyes. Feel your face just kind of soften here. Feel the skin around your brow and your eyes soften. Let your jaw release. Settle your hands in your lap in just a really easy, effortless way. Allow yourself to notice whatever it is that you notice. So maybe it's the noises in your house. Maybe it's the quiet. Maybe it's the sound of your own breath. Maybe you're noticing something physically going on. So a certain area of the body might be feeling tight or tense. So just allow your awareness to go there. Just doing a little exploring here. And then bring the mind to a little bit more focus. So start to focus more on the breath. So notice the quality of the breath. Is it feeling short and choppy? Is it feeling maybe a little shallow? Consciously start to deepen the breath. So purposefully lengthen your inhale. Allow the exhale to be nice and slow and smooth, very controlled exhale, completely emptying out all of the breath. And again, just taking that nice long, deep inhale, completely filling the belly. And exhaling slow and smooth. And continue to sit with that longer, fuller breath for a few moments. And so really the focus of the practice tonight being a heart-opening practice, I felt was sort of necessary right now. So all of this sort of isolation and sheltering and maybe working from home all kind of cause us physically to sort of round at the shoulders, bow our heads down as we're looking at our laptop or our phone. And so just taking this opportunity on our mat tonight to open our shoulders, open our chest, open our throat, doing some heart opening, shoulder opening, back bending poses tonight to sort of counter all of that sheltering inward we've been doing. And so just starting to move with the breath. If it's okay for you, keep your eyes closed for a few moments longer. But as you inhale, start to sweep the arms out and up, reaching up through the arms, through the fingertips, spread wide through the fingers. And then as you exhale, draw hands together and down into your heart space. Completely empty out the breath. And then as you inhale again, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, draw hands to heart center. And one more time, inhale, sweeping the arms, reaching out and up. And then exhale, coming right back to center. This time, bow your head. Let your hands stay right at heart center. Maybe even let your thumb knuckles rest right at your heart space. Finding that touch there. Taking a moment here to just find some gratitude. So there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of things that are maybe difficult right now in our lives. But there's also a lot of good going on. And so see if you can find something to settle on that makes you feel grateful. And then just breathing that into your heart, keeping that with you as you practice tonight. Just that gentle reminder that there's good. There's always things to be grateful for. And we're full breath in right where we are. And full exhale. And then allow your eyes to open. Rest your hands on your lap one more time. And then just make sure that you're comfortable. So if you're still in this seated on your heels pose and you want to your sit bones in an easy seat, that's fine. I'm just going to stretch a little bit into the side here. So we're going to drop the right fingertips next to us. And then with an inhale, left arm is going to sweep up and then a little bit over, just a little tilt to your right. Reach those fingertips away. And then maybe open up through the chest just a bit more, peeling that left side back. Maybe taking a peek beyond your left arm. And then as you inhale, come on back to center. We're going to release the left fingertips at our side. Inhale, right arm up and over. So there's a little shift, a little C curve of the spine here. So if you're on your heels, you might even let your right hip roll to the right, just a little bit, not a lot. And then we'll open up through the chest a little bit more, peel that right side back. Take our gaze beyond that right arm. And inhale, come on back to center. So we're going to switch it up now and come to our hands and knees. And so from hands and knees, just check in real quick that your wrists line up with your shoulders and your knees line up with your hips. And then we'll move through a few cat-cow poses here. So as you inhale, drop the belly, widen the sit bones, widen the collarbones, look up. And then as you exhale, arch the spine, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, push the mat away from you. And then moving with your own breath back into your cow pose, dropping the belly. And with your exhale, back into your cat pose, arching the spine. So a few more times here, rounding the spine, dropping the belly, moving with your own breath. If you want to ad-lib a little bit here, if you want to wag the tail or allow the weight to shift forward and back as you move through cat-cow, feel free to do that. Take some liberties here for what feels good for you. So we'll go one or two more rounds here, again, matching the movement to your breath pattern. And we'll come back to center, finding a neutral spine, and I'm just going to shift position me a little better. So staying on hands and knees, we're going to thread the needle. So as you inhale, we'll float the right arm out to the right, reach through those fingertips. And then as you exhale, we're going to thread that right arm underneath the left. We'll come down to the right temple. And then that left arm is going to reach up to the sky. And so this is maybe where you stay. You can also turn that palm away and wrap the left hand towards your right hip. Couple breaths here. And so with the next exhale, drop that left hand to the earth for support. Lift yourself up. Unwind that right arm out to the right again. And then we'll drop that hand under the shoulder. And we'll take that same pose left side. So inhale, left arm floats. And then exhale, thread it. We're going to drop that left temple to the mat. And then reach that right arm up to the sky. And again, this might be where you stay, or you might take it that one step deeper, wrapping the right hand towards your left wrist, or excuse me, left hip. Check in with the breath here. As you exhale, drop that right hand to the mat, press yourself back up, unwind your left arm, and then release the left hand back to the mat. So again, I'm just going to shift positions here, but coming into your hands and knees pose, we're going to walk our hands one hand print forward, curl those toes under, and press ourselves back to downward facing dog. So go ahead and walk your dog out a little bit, pedal the feet. So alternate lifting those heels off the mat, bending deeply into one knee. Really anchor through the hands, spread the fingers wide. Feel free to wag your tail a little bit here, kind of swishing the hips. May also feel good to shake the head out a couple times, release tension in the neck. Take a few more breaths here in your first down dog. And then when you're ready, we're going to bend the knees a lot, float our heels, and then we're going to walk ourselves up to the front of our mat, coming into forward fold. Let the knees be soft as you inhale, halfway lift, flattening the back, drawing the low belly up and in. And then as you exhale, again, fold in. Again, inhale, halfway lift, pulse up a little bit, and then exhale, float back in. One more time, just like that. Inhale, halfway, and then exhale, release. This time we're going to stay in our forward fold. Feel free to bend the knees any amount more and really let the head go. Release the crown towards the earth. Feel free to rock a little bit, your weight. Feel out the feet. With your next breath in, we're going to rise all the way to stand. So root down to rise. Reach your arms out and up. As you exhale, fold right back in. Bow forward, hands move through heart center, and then release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Root to rise, reach out and up. Exhale, hands through heart, forward fold. And one more time, just like that. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, release. Root to rise. Exhale, hands through heart. Let it go. This time, halfway lift, stay. Bend into the knees even more, and then we're going to step the right foot back into our long lunge. Wiggle that right foot back a little bit here, and then we'll drop into the back knee. So settling into our low lunge here, find your way up to fingertips so that you're not kind of rounding the shoulders and hunching down. Try to stay open through the front body. Soften into that right hip flexor. You can flatten the back of your foot if that feels better. Open the heart any amount more. Then we'll start to give a nice squeeze into the inner thighs. So maybe curl those toes again. Big hug into the inner thighs so we get a little more supported in our lower half, and then we'll sweep the arms up. Big inhale here, reaching up through fingertips, and then as you exhale, come to how wonderful arms. So the arms open wide, the heart lifts. See if you can find a little snuggle of the shoulder blades onto your back as you lean back a little bit. Maybe tilt your head up to the sky. Keep all that tilt, that lean back. Keep hugging into the inner thighs, and then interlace your hands behind you this time. Big breath in, just open a little bit more. And then as you exhale, nice and gentle, release. Release the hands back to the mat. We're going to come off this back knee, and we're going to step that right foot forward, back into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Root to rise, reach out and up. Exhale, hands move. Take your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Stay, bend the knees, step your left foot back. Wiggle that foot back a little bit, and then we'll drop the knee. So again, for a few breaths, we're going to settle into this nice hip stretch. So let the weight sort of sink forward, maybe flatten that back foot, but make sure you're staying lifted up through the sides of your waist, your shoulders are open, so we're not rounding and dropping the weight of the upper body down. We're trying to lift up. A couple easy breaths here. And then we'll bring that little hug in, that energy. So curl those back toes, Big squeeze into the inner thighs, float the arms up. Breath in, exhale, how wonderful arms. Again, snuggle those shoulder blades onto your back, lift your heart, release your head back a little bit. Good, so keep all that, but now find that laced hands behind you. Keep opening the shoulders, one breath more. Exhale, release, hands to the earth, support, come off that back knee. This time we're gonna step back into our high plank pose. So right foot's gonna step back, high push-up pose. Totally fine to drop your knees. Take a breath here. Give a little hug into the inner thighs. Pull the low belly up and in a little bit. Draw the heart forward. So if you're not on your knees already, come down to your knees. Let your hips shift forward. We'll let the chest and the chin drop to the mat. Pin those elbows in. And then come all the way onto the belly. Lengthen out through your toes. Plant those hands, lift from the back of your head, the back of your heart to cobra pose. Little heart opener here. Shimmy the shoulders a little bit, just feel it out. And then as you exhale, release the head back to the earth. Just gonna shift my position here for a moment. So with your forehead on the earth, walk your hands out wide. Pop up to your fingertips and then float your elbows forward a little bit so that they lift up over your wrists. With an inhale, press into your fingertips, come back into your cobra with wide arms. Again, little shimmy right to left. Feel out the shoulder blades. Feel out the chest, collarbones. Exhale, release, back to the earth. Slip your hands under your chest or under your shoulders, curl your toes under, and press yourself back to knees, and then back to a downward facing dog. So take a few breaths here and pedal it out. And from your down dog, we're going to float the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Go ahead and bend your right knee. Stack your right hip on your left hip any amount, and then take some nice big knee circles here. I'm working out any kinks in the hip. You might hear some popping. Go ahead and square that right hip down, extend the right leg straight back, anchor your hands, melt your heart. Big breath in. As you exhale, draw your knee to your nose. Let your weight shift forward and then step that right foot through. Back heel stays lifted, back leg is really strong here. If you feel a little wobbly, before you come up, heel toe your right foot a little wider. And then when you're ready, come on up for Alanasana, crescent pose. So drop into that right knee a little bit, lift your heart, reach back any amount. Settle into the breath for a moment. Full breath in. As you exhale, we're going to drop the left hand to the earth. Right arm's going to float up. We're going to take our twist to the right. One more inhale and exhale. We're going to keep the twist but drop the back knee. Take a quick peek down at your right foot and heel toe it a little wider. Turn your toes out a little bit and then drop the right hand to the right thigh. Come down to your left hand if you can, and then take that twist a little deeper using the leverage of your hand on your thigh. Peel that right shoulder back. If your hips feel open, that left hip flexor in particular, you can always drop a little bit. So you might drop into that left forearm. As you exhale, release your twist. Bring both hands to the mat. Get strong through that back leg, and then we'll sweep that right leg back to our three-legged dog. Give it a little shimmy shake out, and then release the right foot. Pedal it out a couple times. Always okay to drop the knees and come into your child's pose. If you're staying in down dog, come back to the breath. So if you're not already in down dog, meet us there. We'll take that sequence on the left side. I'm going to actually switch positions here so you see me a little bit better. So we're going to float the left leg up and back, bend, twist, and open. Do some nice big hip circles here. Go ahead and square that left leg straight back. Drop that hip a little bit. Get really strong through the arms. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. And then step through. Back leg is really strong here. And again, if you want to heel toe that left foot just a little wider for better balance. When you feel ready, come on up. Crescent pose. Arms are lifted, heart is open, back leg is strong, supporting. Settle into that front knee any amount more. As you exhale, we're going to drop into the twist. Right hand to the ground, left arm to the sky. Maybe pinning that left hip back a little bit, peeling the left ribs open. Again, don't drop into that back leg yet. Stay strong back there. And then as you exhale, we're going to drop that back knee. So we're going to keep the twist. We're just going to open it up a little bit. So heel toe that left foot a little wider and turn the toes out. Drop the left hand to the thigh and really kind of tuck that left shoulder back. You may want to drop in a little bit by dropping to the right hand, or maybe all the way to the right forearm. As you exhale, release. Both hands to the mat. Back leg gets strong. Left leg sweeps back. Just shimmy, shake it out. Release the left foot back to the earth. Downward facing dog. Inhale to high plank, high push-up pose. Maybe drop your knees, maybe not. As you exhale, drop knees, chest, and chin. Inhale all the way on your belly. Float the head and the heart. Cobra pose. As you exhale, release your forehead back to the mat. Walk your hands back a little bit so they're closer to your ribs than your chest or shoulders. We're going to pin those elbows in a little bit. Really press into the hands. And again, inhale, float to cobra. Maybe press yourself up a little bit. Give a big squeeze into the inner thighs and really press down into your feet. Can you pull the low ribs forward a little bit? Exhale, release. Curl those toes under, press yourself back to knees. Come back to a child's pose. So walk those knees wide. Settle the sit bones back towards your heels. Soften your arms. Release your forehead to the mat. Take a few easy breaths here. So as you inhale, begin to shift your weight up. Find your way back to hands and knees. And then we'll press up and back to downward facing dog. As you inhale, right leg's going to float up high again. Reach and stretch through the toes. And again, bend, twist, and open. So keep floating that right knee high. Anchor that left heel any amount more and really press into your hands. Inhale, extend that right leg straight back, square up the hip. Big breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Step through. Back heel turns down. I'm coming up for warrior two. So taking a quick peek that our right heel intersects our left inner arch. And then we'll drop into that right knee, but press it open wide a little bit. Drop the shoulders, hug the low belly up and in. Gaze is just beyond those front fingertips. So go ahead and turn your palms up and then bend your elbows and try to tuck them in towards your ribs, almost like you're carrying two trays in your hands. Give a big snuggle to the shoulder blades on your back and try to press your shoulders open, smile through the collarbones. So now take your gaze straight forward. Good. Keep that nice snuggling of the shoulder blades, that open chest, but let's interlace our hands behind us. So interlace your fingers. We're going to start to drop any amount of the fingers towards the earth, lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders open. Good. Take a little gaze up, tilt your head back, open your throat. Good. Keep all that, but open your arms back into warrior two. Take your gaze back over that front hand. Keep that nice deep bend in the right knee. We're going to flip the front palm and reverse our warrior. Try to stay open through the chest here. Keep that right side sort of peeling back a little bit. And as you exhale, we're going to wrap the right arm behind us and then float the left arm up and over, extended side angle. Again, stay open through the chest. Keep the left side peeling back. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, release both hands to the earth. Kick up that back heel and step back high plank. Option to drop your knees. As you exhale, float forward and lower down, on or off your knees. Maybe low plank this time, and then up to upward facing dog. Moving through bent knees or rolling over the toes, come back to downward facing dog. So make sure you're honoring your practice. So if you need to take a stop over in child's pose or maybe just drop the knees for a few breaths, go ahead and do that. No need to stay in down dog if that's not feeling right for you. So we're going to take that series on the left side. So inhale, left leg's going to float. Inhale, we're going to bend the knees, stack the hips. Take a few breaths here, just finding that nice openness. And then we'll square the hips, send that left leg straight back, big breath in, exhale, knee to nose, step through. Back heel turns down, warrior two. So again, finding our little adjustments here in our warrior two, we want to check our feet. The left heel is going to intersect with the right inner arch. That left knee is dropping down for that nice 90-degree angle, but we're also peeling the left knee open wide a little bit. Shoulders soften down the back. We reach out through fingertips. And then we'll turn those palms up, hug those elbows into the ribs, and then really try to snuggle those shoulder blades behind your heart. Find that nice open chest. Feel your collarbones peel open. And then we'll keep all that, but find that interlaced kind of bind with the hands. Roll the shoulders open, tilt the head back a little bit. And then open it up, warrior two. Keep all that, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Try to stay open, left side peels back a little bit. And then we'll wrap that left arm behind us, right arm up and over, extended side angle. Now the right side needs to peel back a little bit. Inhale back to warrior two, settle in. And as you exhale, float those hands down. Kick up your back heel, step back, high plank. So again, you choose knees, chest, chin, or maybe high plank to low. From your belly to cobra, or off your belly to up dog. And then back to downward facing dog. Go ahead, release your knees here in your downward facing dog. And then we're going to come easily down onto our bellies. So go ahead and just settle on your belly for a moment. Let your legs kind of walk away from one another. Drop your head to the mat or to your hands. Just close your eyes and connect with your breath here. So begin to walk your feet a little closer to one another. Press down into the tops of your feet. Let your arms reach behind you next to your legs, turning your palms down. Touch your forehead to the mat. Reach and kind of walk the fingertips back if you can. Now, as you inhale, press down into your hands, float your head and feet off the earth a few inches. Now, with the head lifted and the collarbones widening, maybe walk the fingertips back a little bit. Reach out through the toes, through the crown of the head. As you exhale, release. Bring everything down to the earth. Turn your head to one side, flip your palms up. Let your heels just sort of soften. Let your glutes soften. So begin to bring your forehead back to the mat. So you might want to reach for your towel or your strap here. And if you want to use that for this next version, just lay it across your low back. You may or may not use it. Hands next to your sides like we did before. Palms turned down, fingertips reaching back. Once again, we're going to inhale, lift the toes, lift the head, press down into the hands. And so to come up a little higher here, you can either reach for that strap and try to lift, kind of pulling the strap away, or you can interlace your hands and come up. Either way, reach through your toes, reach through the crown of your head, try to press your shoulders away from your ears. Keep squeezing the inner thighs in so you're protecting your low back. Exhale, release. Everything comes down, turn your head to the opposite side. Go ahead and bend your knees now and just windshield wiper your feet left to right. One or two more, just like that. And then bring back to center, release your toes back to the earth, but under. Go ahead and walk your forearms forward. So let's check in that the forearms are parallel to one another. Again, the toes are curled under, legs are strong here. Press down into the palms of your hands, spread the fingers wide. Pressing into those forearms, feeling your heart stay open, lift your hips off the ground. Walk your toes in a little bit. So coming to your forearm plank. Maybe just a breath and then come back to the knees and the belly, or maybe stay. And then eventually we're going to walk ourselves back into our dolphin pose. So start to walk the feet in, shifting the hips up and back. Pressing into those forearms, melt your heart back. Keep those knees a little bit bent. Keep pressing the forearms forward, trying to wrap your shoulder blades up your back towards your sacrum. If you can stay, stay. If not, come to your knees. That's totally fine. Take a breath, take a beat. Maybe come back into it. And then let's all release to our knees. Find your way to seated on your heels. So from seated on your heels, just settle for a moment. Let's drop our hands into our laps, turn our palms up, and close our eyes. So maybe return to that nice, slow, smooth, easy breath pattern. Full breath in, Easy breath out. Soften your face, soften your eyes. Maybe coming back for a moment here to our gratitude. That thing we thought of at the beginning of practice that we're grateful for. It makes us feel happy. Maybe picture a smile through the heart, through the collarbones, through the throat. One more full breath in, and full breath out. And from this seated on your heels pose, go ahead and open your eyes. We're going to drop our fingertips behind us. So stay up on your fingertips, though. Don't drop to the palm. Stay up on the fingertips. Roll the shoulders open. Lift the heart. So you should feel a sensation like the shoulder blades are sort of tucking up under your heart, kind of pushing the heart up to the sky. And then the throat will open because we'll tilt the head up. So we're not dropping the head back. We're still staying long if we can through the back of the neck, but we're looking up and opening our throat. So stay here. Make sure you're breathing. You're not holding your breath. You could stay for 1 or 2 more breaths just like this, or take it one step further by lifting your sit bones off your heels. Give a little squeeze into the inner thighs if you do that. Maybe lengthen the tailbone towards your knees. Exhale. If you lifted, release. We're going to shift our hips forward, coming back into our downward facing dog. So maybe pedal the feet out a couple times, stretching into the backs of your legs. And then with your inhale, we're going to float that right leg, bend, twist, and open. Choose to stay for a breath or 2, or maybe get a little playful and come into your flip dog. So we're going to take that right foot and we're going to drop it all the way to the outside of our mat. Pressing into both feet, lift your hips, open your heart. Reach your hand away, your right hand away. And if you flip, go ahead and come back. So flipping back to both hands, right leg lifted. Take a moment, get yourself situated, 3-legged dog. Big breath in and then exhale, knee to nose. Look to your right thumb, step your right foot to the inside of your right thumb. So just a little wider in our base. Back heel's gonna drop down. Inhale for our warrior 1. So reaching out and up, dropping into that right knee. Any amount, see if you can peel the right side back a little bit and pull the left side forward a little bit. Let your arms be a little wider. Lift the heart, tilt the head back. Interlace our hands behind us. Once again, roll the shoulders open, lift the heart, tilt your head back. As you exhale, we're going to humble our warrior. So we're going to drop the head to the inside of the right leg. Let the arms sort of float away from our back. Stay strong through the legs here. Keep pressing down into the feet. Bow the head, let it go. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, release the hands to the earth. So step back to down dog. If you prefer to step back to your plank and flow through knees, chest, chin, or high plank to low plank, you're certainly able to do that. Always optional. We're going to meet back in our downward facing dog. So from down dog, inhale, left leg floats. You're going to bend, twist, and open. Stay for a breath or 2 here, or maybe flip your dog on this side. So if you flip, And bring that left foot all the way to the earth. Plant both feet. Lift your hips. Open it up. So if you're flipped, flip back. Come back to your three-legged dog. Take a moment and resettle. Exhale, knee to nose. Step wide. Back heel turns down, warrior one. Again, settling into that front leg, and we're just working on trying to open it up here. And so opening it up in warrior one means trying to pin the left side back as we pull the right side forward. But the caveat to that is we don't want to lose the strength in our back leg, right? So we want to drop that knee. We want to stay strong in the back leg, pressing into that right foot as we open it up. Good, a little bit more open arms, lift your heart, tilt the head back. And then we'll find that bind. So we're interlacing our hands, open the heart. With your exhale, humble your warrior. Drop the head. Maybe notice if that left hip sort of pops out wide. Try to tuck that left hip in a little bit. Again, let the head go. Try not to look forward and crane the neck. Really drop the head. Pressing down into the feet, rise back up, warrior one. Exhale, release the hands, step back, downward facing dog, or again, maybe you choose to flow through with your breath. So from down dog, go ahead, release your knees. We're gonna come back to our child's pose for a few breaths. So releasing the forehead to the mat. This time, bend your elbows. Bring your hands together. Reach your fingertips back towards the back of your heart. Back to a nice steady breath here. So as you inhale, begin to shift your weight back up, hands and knees. We're just going to walk ourselves to the front of our mat and come to stand. So reach up and out. And then exhale, hands to your heart. So reach for your strap or your towel or your shirt, whatever it is that you have. We're going to step a little bit wide on our mats. So feet a little wider than hip distance. And then take your strap as long as you can. Okay, so we want it to be nice and wide. Definitely wider than your shoulders, doing a little shoulder roll here. So grabbing onto the ends of the strap or towel or shirt or whatever it is that you have, with your inhale, we're going to float the arms up. And then as you exhale, we're going to drop the arms behind us. So this is probably where you need some slack on that strap. If you're too narrow, it's going to be really hard to get this range of motion. Okay, so with your breath, you'll kind of move through this. Inhale up, and then exhale back. Inhale up, and then exhale back. If you're not really feeling a stretch or anything here, you can go a little narrower, and that'll make it a little harder, okay? So don't make it hard that it's painful, just make sure that you can feel like it's stretching, that it's working that range of motion. The other thing to sort of check in with is that you're not popping your ribs forward. You want to stay nice and kind of hugged into the midline here. So really the only thing that should be moving are your arms. So we'll just do a few more here. So the next time your strap is behind you, keep it there. And then we're gonna roll that strap in a few times and really kind of narrow it out. Okay, so with that strap a little more narrow, feet stay wide, bend the knees a little bit. Pull that strap apart with your hands and open your heart, tilt your head back, and then we're gonna drop in. Drop into our little shoulder rinse here. Stay soft in the knees, let the head go. And as you inhale, lift halfway, and then just release your strap, release that bind, and then come into an easy forward fold. Bend your knees a lot. If your hands easily reach the ground, turn your palms up. Maybe stack one hand on the other. Just do a little moving here, a little swaying. With your next breath in, rise to stand. So bring your strap with you. We're going to do one more thing standing. So bring your feet back under your hips. So you may or may not need your strap for this, but just have it handy. You might just want to throw it over a shoulder here. We're going to really plant our left foot. So spread the toes wide, anchor into all four corners of that left foot. Give a little bend to the left knee, hands on hips. We're just going to roll off the right heel to our right tippy toes. Just kind of feel that out. I'm going to step away from the wall a little bit here. So once you feel pretty steady here, we're going to kick that right foot back, bending into the right knee. So we're going to reach for our right foot with our right hand. Okay? So moving towards like a dancer's pose. Okay? This may be all the further you go, which is fine, but see if you can find some space. So maybe roll that shoulder back a little bit. Maybe kind of kick that right foot into the hand. So we're going to keep the left knee a little bit bent. If you want to deepen into this pose, you'll start to reach forward that left hand, heart forward. And then we'll press that foot into the hand a little bit more. So where you might want your strap is if you're having a hard time with that bind, create a little loop with your strap. Okay, so when you're ready, come on out. See if you can come out with as much grace as you came in. We'll release the right foot back to the earth and just pedal it out. And we'll take dancers on the second side. So right foot is going to be grounded. Right toes are spread. Little bend to the right knee. And then we'll float off the left heel. So just kind of finding out how that feels to be balancing on that right foot. Draw the low belly up and in for support. And then we'll bend the left foot and reach for bend the left knee and reach for the foot. Again, you might want to create that loop with your strap instead of using your hand. And then maybe kick that foot into your hand a little bit. And again, this might be sort of where you stay, but maybe the left shoulder can open, the heart can lift a little bit. Maybe you can deepen into this, reaching, tilting forward, but then kicking that leg back. Be okay with the wobbling, especially if you're on carpet. And then come on back. Release the foot, release the strap if you're using it. Come back to the very front of your mat. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And then exhale, exhale, let it go. All the way into your forward fold. A couple breaths here. Let your knees be soft. Let your head go. Shake your head yes a few times. Shake your head no a few times. Bend the knees even more. Plant your hands and step both feet back. Take your downward facing dog. And so maybe pedal a few times in down dog, or maybe now's the time you want to take your last flow through, knees, chest, chin, high plank to low plank, maybe a cobra, maybe an up dog, meeting us back in down dog, or maybe you want to skip that flow and just stay in down dog like I am. And then when you're ready, drop your knees. We're going to come to sit on our sit bones. And then we're going to reach for our props because we want to make sure we have those handy. Because once we go down on our backs in a moment here, we're not going to get back up. So we're going to play a little bit with some final back bends, some final heart openers. We're going to do bridge, maybe using our support. And then option to come into Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow pose or wheel if you want that tonight. Okay, big, big heart opener if that's calling out to you tonight. Okay, so grab your equipment and come on down to your back. So when you come onto your back, you're going to take that strap or towel or whatever and just drop it onto your feet. Now, the tops of your feet are the front of your ankles with your knees bent. We're going to use that in a moment. So make sure that the ends of the strap or the towel are kind of reaching up, crawling up towards your hips so that you can reach for those later. So release your head to the mat. Again, knees are bent, feet are planted. Just take a moment or two here. Maybe rest your hands on your belly. Maybe close your eyes. Connect with your breath. Go ahead and open up the arms nice and wide. Turn your palms up. Starting with your right shoulder blade, we're going to lift the right upper back a little bit, right chest, just so that we can create space to then tuck our right shoulder under a little bit. And then drop your right shoulder back to the mat. Same thing on the left side. Lift the left side up a little bit, tuck that shoulder in, snuggle it up and under, and then drop the shoulder again. And now keeping that nice openness to the chest we just found, turn your palms down and let them rest next to your hips, next to your legs. Check in that the knees line up with your hips. They're not splaying wide. Check that the feet are as close to the sit bones as you comfortably can. With those hands planted at your sides, we're going to press down into our feet and hands and just peel the sit bones and spine off the mat. Just for a breath, and then we're going to come right back down with our exhale. So we're going to kind of ride the breath here into our bridge. So again, inhale to lift, and then exhale to release. So honor the breath. So you may not be lifting into your full expression of bridge at this point. That's fine. We're just kind of feeling it out. So let the breath kind of be the guide here. So the next time you're lifted, go ahead and stay lifted. And now let's create some more space. So once again, just kind of walk those shoulder blades under you as best you can. Feel your chest and your heart center pull towards your chin a little bit. Now reach for those strap ends and then give a little pull to the strap, pulling it against the front of your ankles or shins or the tops of your feet. Again, just creating a little more space here. So pushing forward, but walking the shoulder blades under. Big squeeze into the inner thighs. Create some space in your low back by drawing your tailbone and your sit bones forward a little bit towards the knees. And as you exhale, we're going to release. We're going to come all the way down to our spine. Release your strap. Take the heels of your hands, plant those in the thighs, the front of your thighs, and just kind of gently push the thighs forward, hopefully releasing some tension in the low back. So we're going to come up for round 2. You can come right back to that bridge we just came into, maybe using the strap, maybe not. If you're feeling like you would sort of rather come into something a little more supportive, you can. Use your book or your block. When we come into bridge, you can use that prop, slip it under your low back, and then drop your weight onto that block. Okay, this is a really nice supported bridge pose. And you can spend several breaths here. And then like I mentioned, if you'd rather come into our full heart opener, if you want to come into wheel, especially if wheel is in your practice, you can move into that now. So legs are like bridge legs. So knees in, line with the hips, feet planted on the earth. But we're going to send the hands back behind us, turning our fingers towards our shoulders and kind of drawing the elbows in so that we can snuggle the shoulder blades on our back. And so I like to take my wheel in stages. So I would press into my feet and hands and just lift to the crown of my head first. And then maybe press into my hands and feet again and lift all the way into wheel. So we're going to keep the knees hugging in, the thighs hugging in. Keep our throat open, our heart open. Maybe take a breath or two here. So if you're in full wheel, to come out, you're going to lift your head up to look at the ceiling and then come all the way back down. If you're still in wheel and you want to stay for another breath or two, go for it. If you're in bridge or supported bridge and you want to stay for a breath or two longer, go for it. If you're ready to come down onto your spine, take a breath or two and find your way all the way onto your back. Once again, keep those knees bent. But plant your hands on your belly. Close your eyes. And just reconnect with the breath here. And so all meeting on our backs if we're not there already. With your knees still bent, walk your feet wider. Let your arms go wide, tee out to the side. And then just windshield wiper the knees side to side. Some nice easy windshield wipers here. So the next time your knees fall to the left, stay there. Go ahead and lift the hips a little bit so that you can shift your hips to your right. We'll take this into a deeper twist. We're going to bring that top leg, that right leg, all the way on top of the left leg. Bring your left hand on top of your right knee or right thigh, and then get really heavy through the right shoulder. Turn your head to the right. So if your low back is feeling at all grumpy, tuck these knees in a little bit closer to your belly, to your chest. That should relieve the tension in the low back. So we're going to come out of our twist as we inhale. So inhale to lift the knees, turn the head back to neutral. Again, feet are going to go wide, knees are going to go wide. We'll take an inhale. And then exhale, just drop both knees to your right. Stay there for a moment. And then we'll deepen this twist. So we're going to kind of lift our hips a little bit, shimmy them off to the left a little bit, and then stack that top leg, that left leg on the right leg. Take your hand to the leg, get heavier through the left shoulder, turn your head to the left. And again, maybe you want to kind of hug those knees in a little bit closer to the body. And just enjoy the twist. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Let the breath be nice and deep here. And then as you inhale, we'll start to come out of the twist. This time as you neutralize your spine, we're going to hug both knees in. Give it a nice big hug in, maybe even lift your head. And then release your head back to the mat. Just take some big knee circles here. Massaging the low back a little bit. Really bring those knees in as close as you can and then push them away from you. And then go ahead, release the legs to the mat. Let the legs go really long. Let the legs be wider than your hips and let the feet fall open naturally. Let your hands rest on your belly. Close your eyes. Take a big breath in. Completely fill your belly. And then as you exhale, open your mouth. Just sigh it out. So do that 2 more times. Big breath in through the nose, completely fill your belly. And then as you exhale, sigh it out. We'll do that one more time. And so let go of your hands, letting them just rest in an easy way at your sides, turning your palms up. If you're feeling chilly, take a moment here and add some socks, a blanket, or maybe a sweatshirt. And so we're settling in here to our final resting pose, Shavasana. And so eyes stay closed. Maybe you can turn the lights down a little bit. And so we just let the breath become very easy, very natural. We're not making the breath effortful at all here. It just becomes what it becomes. And as you sort of soften into this Shavasana, your breath might even become a little shallow, as if you're sort of moving towards sleep. Let go of any holding, any tension you feel. Maybe picturing your feet and hands in warm sand. Maybe the palms are being filled with warm sand and the fingers sort of naturally curl in. And as if you were in sand, the body sort of melts into it, creates its own little divot in the sand, and maybe even kind of wiggle the body into that divot, getting nice warm sand, getting a little deeper there, a little softer, a little easier. There's just that sense of release, of letting go. And so maybe not scrunching the eyes closed, just letting them softly be closed, releasing and smoothing the skin around the eyes, on the brow. Letting your jaw be easy. Softening the throat. And softening the belly. Softening the glutes. Feeling the legs get heavy. And feeling the arms get heavy. Just allowing yourself to just be here. So begin to deepen your breath. Bring some small movements back into the body, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. And when you feel ready, bend at the knees. Roll onto one side, whichever side feels right. Coming just for a few breaths into a fetal pose, feeling really supported, really comfortable here. And pressing your hands into the earth, find your way to an easy seat. So sitting on your sit bones or sitting on your heels. Resting hands on your lap, closing your eyes. Full breath in and full breath out. And then drawing hands to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Again, resting those thumb knuckles right at your heart. Bowing head to heart. Notice that light that resides naturally within you. In loving gratitude, send that light out to all those people in your life who love and support you, even if it's from afar right now. And sending my light and my gratitude to you guys. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight. I hope you have a great evening, a great weekend. Thank you for joining. Namaste.